This is Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report, and I want to talk a little bit about Standing Rock. It's something that major media, for some reason, has been staying away from. And it's something I've been documenting with a lot of stories, a lot of videos. This video you're watching is from just the other night, when they were using tear gas, rubber bullets, and stuff to stop the protesters. And what ended up happening is, you're going to see a picture that I'll put in front of the video, and it's this young lady, Sophia Wolanski, 21 years old. She lost an arm, folks. She lost an arm due to one of the concussion grenades that were thrown. The police are denying that. What we're seeing is, you got these people, they're the water protectors. They're out there Standing Rock. And on Sunday, the police, the whole situation escalated. That was around the 20th. And the police were attempting to basically get out there and stop these individuals, what they view as protesters, from taking debris off the bridge to clear it. And for at least 7 hours, the police surrounded them and assaulted the crowd, as you're seeing on this screen. There were over 300 people that were reported injured and that needed medics near this cannonball. But police reported no injuries. You saw nothing on major media. It was silence. You couldn't hear a grasshopper chirp. You know, what happened to this lady, you'll see the pictures, is horrible. She was injured by shrapnel that came from that concussion grenade that the police threw into the crowd. It hit her arm, went off, boom, she lost her arm. Her father put out a letter. He said, hey, look, this was intentional. And all she was doing, this Sophia, was merely trying to bring water to the unarmed people who had been attacked for several hours by the Morton County Sheriff's Department. The police claimed that they had no concussion grenades, and that what they threw into the crowd was rather a propane tank. Well, why the heck would you throw a propane tank into the crowd? And I don't know which is true, what the sheriffs are saying or what the individuals are saying. Just because they have a uniform doesn't mean they're saying the truth. There were a number of eyewitnesses out there that recorded statements that refute what the police say. And I'm sure there were a number of police out there that refute what the protesters are saying. And there's going to be legal proceedings. But in the meantime, this young lady's lost her arm. She had emergency surgery. And it's tragic what happened to her and what's happening at this whole event. And why mainstream media why a lot of us don't view them as a source anymore. They've proven during the presidential elections that they can't be trusted. They've proven just here locally during my election process for mayor that they can't be a trusted source. And then you get stories like this and they prove that they can't be a trusted source. So you got these ongoing clashes that are happening out there in North Dakota. People are getting injured. And it's more than just a simple protest. It's an intersection of many different ideas, many different cultures and values that transcend the issue of what appears before us here. It goes beyond water, land, and oil. And one of the unfortunate side effects from what we're seeing on this escalation here is people are forgetting the deeper meaning here. It's being ignored, forgotten. It's being forgotten by mainstream media, by the press, and those who rely on the media for information. And it really sucks. You know, I'm a prime example here. People only read the Gondo. They think I'm this crazy nut job that is an ignorant son of a bitch. And we need to expect more and hold them more accountable. People think that these are a bunch of nut job protesters. They don't understand the true meaning behind it. Mass media, major media, has overlooked the aspect of the colonial and assimilatory aspects of their arguments out there. Actually, and they're almost participating in them. So you got actions that are in and around the cannonball. They've escalated. Discussions by major media go around the legality of their actions, just like when we saw the, God, what were those guys out when they were fighting over their land rights? I can't remember their names. But treaty rights, private property, violations like trespassing have all become the central issue to the grievance of the water protectors, ignoring the very idea that the imposition of their colonial legal structure is an act of colonization. And they're forgetting about that. They're saying this is private property, but they're forgetting about the act of colonialization that has taken place. And why? You know, it's been suggested out there that media and by others that the treaty governing the disputed territory opens the land up for development and that these water protectors are misinformed. Some articles go out there and argue that eminent domain was never employed in the area, pointing out that that much of the property there in question is private. And what is a typical use of propaganda rhetoric, which is being put out by mainstream media, um, the government, the sheriffs there. It is what isn't being said, though. What's being omitted, which needs to be clarified. Just look at those pictures. Private property, again, it's all about the colonial aspect, the act of colonialization, the colonial import, making the point moot when talking about industrial development. And what the conversation needs to take place isn't really about the private property aspect, it's about the colonial framework with this indigenous people there. And that's what really needs to happen. The police, they escalate the violence at the encampments near Cannonball in what can be described as the next wave of, some people are calling it the cultural genocide through manifest destiny of these indigenous people. Grassroots and social media have forced this conversation up. Alternative media like myself have forced it up. But is that enough? In the way this moment's being represented in history, how this conversation and the actions that are being produced is being represented. They're not addressing the underlying issue that's happening out here. They undermine the reconciliation that led to an even greater divide between the colonial government and the marginalized and forgotten citizens of this indigenous group out there. It's a shame that this has come to this. These aren't, there are unarmed protesters just sitting out there. Why are we taking such force on them? I know you want them to move and the government wants it their way, but just keep in mind, Bundy's, that's who it was. The Bundys won their court deal. The government was going in there. The major media and everybody made it seem as though the Bundys were wrong, but they weren't. They were acting upon their water rights, and the government wanted to go in there because people like Reed's son had the solar deal out there with the Chinese company, but all that stays out of major media. Just like the specifics of this issue are staying out of major media, and they're propaganding. It's major media has become weaponized propaganda. Okay, this has been Frankie Abbruzzino with the Uncensored Report.